Shubor nakaslem jong unongsan Hima.
Ka Menteri Ketenat Pelating ka Jongkari ka Nirmala Sitharaman ha kasi thok diang kalabu ya Mawnongrim na kebenta ki katu kat ni ki projek ki bakongsan ki basongdor hadu 1000 saus pa Klur tingka halarity auditorium mau kasyang New Shillong Township. Ki projek ki bakongsan ki bakentup hang ni ki long ka jingpen kala thamai ya ka umyam le syaka jaka jengok kai perthai ka bakerpang ha karukom jingpen yar ka badan ya ka jinglut ka ba khandai point khandai Klur tingka ka weipat ka dei ka MICE bat ka cultural infrastructure hub ha mau khanu ka bari ka projek ka ba he tam ban pen keu ya ka jingyo jingkhai bat buram jong ka Jylla ka bakot ru hadu khandai point khandai Klur tingka. Ka Menteri Kelabu Ru Yo Mawnongrim na kebenta ka Mau Khanu Football Stadium ka ba on salong ka stadium football ka ba he tam ha India ka bala bansyong hadu saupho hajar mut bat ka academy bathamai ka basyong dor hinyo spa laipuar Klur tingka. Kelabu Ru Yo Mawnongrim na kebenta ki working women's hostel ha Shillong Jowai bernihat batura ban kintiu ka jing nishim benta ki kenthe ha kamai ka ji ka basyong dor shispa laipuar Klur tingka. Kelabu Ru Yo Mawnongrim na kebenta ka working women's hostel ha Shillong Jowai batura ringkat ka IICA regional campus ha Shillong bat ka Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Custom Integrated Complex ha Sauli. Ka Sitharaman kalaple pat baru yaki henyo pusandli ki digital libraries ha kithan ki bajengai. Ka projek ka basyongdor Shispa Andrupuar Klur tingka ban kintiu ya kejingyo jingnang jingtip jong ki samla ha kishnong khamtam kishnong kaput. Ha kini kejinglet jingo jongka ka bakongsan jongka ka bane hadu sausngi ha ka Jylla kade banya kendu bat ki SGH FPO bat ki lakpati Didi ha sora bat banya kendu ru bat ka management jongka Rama Krishna Mission School bat bande jingo ya kishnong sobar.
To kindly extend a gesture. We also Zara Karpol. Darrell Nongclau for Cocoa Berry franchise. Mrs. Rita Nirmala for bakery. Is also requested to be ready to come on stage. These are all milestones. Please support with a resounding applause for the entire event.
To states and to nations that may be working very hard but not having a goal or a purpose in front of them, and hence not being able to achieve anything even after working very, very hard. In 2018, when we had the opportunity and God blessed us and gave us the opportunity to serve the people of Meghalaya, we set a goal and a target in front of us. I remember at that point in time, we had a GSDP of approximately $4.6 billion. And we looked at ourselves and we realized that even among the states in terms of the overall per capita GSDP and also in terms of the SDG goals, Meghalaya was far below average, right at the bottom of the matrix. And hence our entire journey began with this desire to take us forward and bring us, if not in the top state, but at least in the top 10 states before we turn 60 years old, that is 2032. And hence we set a target that from $4.6 billion, based on the target that the Honorable Prime Minister has also set for our nation, we said we must touch a $10 billion economy. In the last 4 to 5 years, after, of course, taking the COVID aspect in mind, after working continuously and very aggressively in a systematic and a strategic manner, Madam, I'm happy to inform you that we are above, almost touching, in fact, a $6 billion economy, and our growth rate, right now, the economic growth rate that Meghalaya is seeing is almost touching 15%, and which is much higher compared to the national average. I remember there were people who were laughing at us at that point in time, ridiculing us and telling us, what is this government trying to do? We wanted to be in the top 10 states of the country, and we will be. We set out a very steep target, challenge ourselves. In the first few weeks, taking over as Chief Minister, the press asked me, what is your priority going to be? And I remember very distinctly replying to the press that I'm going to do something very simple, which is I will do things differently. As Chief Kera says, I will do things differently. May not be different things, but I will do them differently. Same programs, same schemes, but we will improve our efficiency. We will improve the fund flow. We will increase our capacity. We will build up a team. We will create monitoring systems. We will create accountability. And every person in the team, whether it's the Chief Minister, Cabinet Minister, Additional Chief Secretary, Principal Secretary, we will work as a team. This is not about who is right or who's wrong, but it is about being able to achieve our goals. And I'm happy to inform you that in almost every centrally sponsored major schemes, be it PMGSY, be it MGNRGS, be it PMAY, be it NRLM, be it JJM, so on and so forth. In almost every scheme, I'm happy to inform you, Madam, that we have been able to increase our expenditure minimum 3 to 5 times in certain cases. And clearly in the case of PMGSY, which I was sharing with you, there was a time when in 2000 projects sanctioned in 2003, 2004 had not been completed when we had taken over. Government of India was ready to blacklist and cancel those schemes. Cut the budget allocation for the state of Meghalaya in 2018. And I requested the then CNRD Minister, Rural Development Minister, to give us 6 months to improve. And today I'm happy to inform you 70 to 80% of the PMGSY roads that have been constructed in the state have happened in the last 7 years. Not only in PMGSY, but also in all the other major schemes. Government of Meghalaya has been able to capitalize on the different funds that are available from central government and really work towards improving the overall efficiency by simply doing things in a different manner, doing it in a much more efficient manner, doing it in a much more better manner. And today, with the support of all the team members, today we are able to, as I said, take our state forward towards the goal and direction that we have set for the state. Financing for EAPs, especially for northeastern states, it is done in the manner of 80-20 first of all. So 20% is paid by the state governments. The rest of the 80% is a loan component, which is paid at a sharing amount of 90-10. So at the end of the day, 28% is paid by the state government and 72% is repaid back by the union government. And that is why the externally aided projects are actually a huge source of revenue and a huge source of, I should say, funds that are available to smaller states like Meghalaya to be able to fund different kinds of projects that are happening today. And I take this opportunity in the presence of our Honorable Finance Minister to thank her and the Government of India for sanctioning and giving so many externally aided projects to the state of Meghalaya, almost touching 12,000 crores, which has really impacted the overall development scenario in our state. I also would like to take investment, which we call in short form SASCI. Again, this is an issue, and Madam, I would like to flag this issue today, which I had mentioned many days, months back to you, that this is a 50-year long loan on interest-free loan that the states get. And I was explaining once to the Assembly that if you take a 2,000 crore loan, and that loan, if you put it at 2,075, and you take the net present value of that as of today, it comes down to less than about 70 crores in terms of the value of that 2,000 crores, which is going to be what we have to repay back after 50 years. The point being that if we take 2,000 crores today, we have to repay back 2,000 crores in 2075. And the value of that 2,000 crores in 75 net present today is less than 70 crores. Hence, this is again a very amazing program that the Government of India has started and a great way to fund different capital investments. And ma'am, as we've seen in this presentation that was shown, that our expenditure, the capital expenditure that we have, has risen almost threefold from about 1,400 crores today touching 5,000, from 1,400 today touching almost 5,000 crores in terms of the capital expenditure that the state is doing. And hence, these are all great examples of how Government of India today is supporting the northeastern states. I was earlier mentioning in the program in IIM that before 2014, there was clearly a neglect for our northeast region. There were hardly any ministers, union minister or MOS or prime minister coming to the northeast during those times. Let me share with you that Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, has come to the northeast close to 70 times. And that is all the previous prime ministers put together. Even their number of visits does not touch the number of times Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has come to the northeast. Honorable Union Minister, very evident from the externally aided projects we are getting, very evident from the large amount of schemes that we get, whether through SASCI or through PMAY or any other central government schemes. Friends, this is the time and the moment for the northeast part of our country, for our state of Meghalaya. The transformation that you are seeing, the state government has a role to play. We are working and we're doing whatever we can. But without the help and without the support of Honorable Prime Minister, without the help and support of Honorable Union Finance Minister and the whole Government of India's machinery, this would not have been possible. So I take this opportunity once again to really thank our Honorable Prime Minister for all the support that he has been giving to our state and to Northeast as a whole.
Message from the Honorable Prime Minister in his focus on the development of Northeast is the way in which not only the many visits of the Prime Minister himself and of the Cabinet Ministers from the Union Government in the last 10 years, 11th year this year, 11th and entering to 12th, have made to this region, personally committing themselves for the growth and development of the Northeast. It doesn't just reflect in the various infrastructure projects, but also in the way in which government schemes are taken to a saturation level. Today you had some beneficiaries receiving checks under the PM Mudra scheme or PM Employment Guarantee Program or many other. But when these are in an indicative fashion showcased before a large audience, it is only to show and to demonstrate and to prove that these schemes are not just benefiting large industries. They are actually benefiting the small people who are doing their small businesses, who do not have money or land or building or any gold to offer as security. They are people who want to do their business, earn something more to keep their families going. But if they don't have securities to offer to the banks, banks never consider their proposals. But since 2014, you have Prime Minister Modi, who openly said, if our banks cannot fund small entrepreneurs, small shopkeepers, small vegetable vendors who come to streets to sell their produces, but who are not able to do it because they don't have that little capital available to them, how are we going to support our citizens? So in a public meeting, in fact, I think it was even from the Red Fort that the Prime Minister said, I will be the guarantee for small businesses in this country. Banks shall not ask for any security from them. So many of these small loans which are given to small businesses, whether under PM Mudra scheme or Swanidhi scheme for street vendors in particular, and then the PM Vishwakarma scheme, which comes with 18 different trades which get training on the trade, advanced skills, and also complete kit which is given to them to carry forward their business. And during the training, get paid also so that you're not losing your wage there and coming and spending your money to get yourself trained. So well thought through programs. So that small businesses, small entrepreneurs get the support and we take it forward so that no one in this country feels neglected. No one in this country thinks that even though they want to build their businesses, they have no support mechanism prevailing around. All those apprehensions and all those fears have been dispelled, and that is why when I do these programs, I insist on at least a few people receiving in front of that state's chief minister. Right now, the chief minister of Meghalaya. Before him, we give these checks to those businesses which are small, but yet banks are lending to them so that their businesses can be taken care of. Yes, he says that he understands the pulse of the common people. He designs schemes in order that the common people benefit from them, and in implementing, it is not just lying in the files, it actually happens in the ground. And that doesn't happen only in and around Delhi. It happens in far-flung regions. It happens definitely in the northeast as well. So these are only token gestures which I'm showcasing, but actually from the banks, everybody who approaches them does get that assistance. So the large principle of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas that Prime Minister often repeats is getting in the ground benefits reaching to common people. So that is why these small examples are being put before you. But I want to highlight, you saw it being showcased there in the on the screen, as to what are those institutions which have been brought to the Northeast. Of course, it takes a lot of effort from the state government also, and the Chief Minister has been repeatedly taking up these very important messages, and therefore you see in the ground institutions coming. So what are those institutions today? Foundation stone has been laid for redevelopment of the Umiam Lake, and this is, we repeat very often, SASKI funded. It is a state assistance, which are special assistance, which are being given for capital expenditure for the states. It means that you get the money for 50 years without having to pay any interest on them. And after 50 years, as was explained by the Chief Minister, what you get today and what the value of that money would be after 50 years is a different story. And whether at that 50th year, the government of that day would say, all right, it was given, it's taken as a grant, you keep it, we don't know. But we are not going to ask you to repay that, nor ask you to give any interest on that. Take these monies and build capital assets. Now, this started post-COVID, when Prime Minister Modi said, we should help states to revive after COVID. So the economy recovery is dependent on states' recovery as well. So no good if central government spends money on capital expenditure, but some of that should go to the states. And that is why from 2020-21, we are giving capital assistance to the states so that they can, some portion of it comes without any condition, some portion comes with nudging the state to undertake reforms so that you're getting your records digitized, your land assets are all digitized and documents given to people, meters are provided, so that electricity benefits and reaches the right kind of beneficiary, and so on. So this SASKI, as a capital amount going to the states, is not a part of the Finance Commission's recommendation. I'd like to keep this on record before eminent citizens. Central government will have to honor every core recommendation given by the Finance Commission. You have to devolve this much amount to the states every month. On the 10th, on the 20th, you have to do this. You have to give this much for disaster relief. You have to send this much for the municipalities and the elected bodies, and so on. That is anyway followed to the last word. But beyond that, Prime Minister Modi has been a Chief Minister in a state and he knows what is the difficulty for states. And that is why since after COVID, he said, never mind, you're doing everything what the Finance Commission has recommended to you, but I want you to help the states so that they can build capital assets and revive, because when you build capital assets, local employment increases possibilities, and also the core sectors benefit. You will buy more cement, buy more steel to do the project. As a result, those industries and people working on them will benefit. The spill-over effect will be lots more than giving money in the hands of the people. You get employment generation, the whole economy reels around these kind of activities, and therefore the revival will be holistic. And that is actually showing results. And I will put on record my appreciation for Meghalaya's efforts in making sure it is fully utilized. SASKI is given on a kind of a formula, which is, the formula is given in general for tax revolution by the Finance Commission, but we use the same formula as to how much should go to which state and so on. Some states, for whatever reason, I'm not blaming them, are not able to utilize it in full every year. But here we have Meghalaya, using its quota full and saying if you have some more spare money, give it to me, I have reasons to spend. And every year there is this request coming, give me more. Having fully utilized what is already given to them, they ask me, and there are times I'm holding back, saying, there can be other states saying, what's happening with central government in Meghalaya? You seem to be giving more to them. So, if the state government puts its heart and soul together, you get a lot more benefit because there is an avenue legitimately to utilize what is there for the states to utilize. You need key projects from far and on record, you're seeing it now. So I'll just list it out before you. A project or a scheme which started after 2021 till today has seen in Meghalaya this many projects coming as a result. So you have the Umiam Lake redevelopment at 99.99 crores. You have a MICE infrastructure that is for large conferences, meetings. When people come to Shillong, you can invite huge big, corporations to come and say, you want to have your annual general body meeting, come and hold it in Shillong. They would say, we wouldn't mind coming, but where is the infrastructure? Now you have the MICE, which is going to be built, large conference halls, meeting places, catering to their needs, will attract a lot more such agencies, and even G20-like meetings can be held here. So you're having MICE infrastructure, which is coming up, completely funded by SASCI, and at a project cost of 99.99 crores, that is Mount Kanu. I think the foundation stone laying has happened. Again, a football stadium proposed to be funded again by SASCI, and that is at 732 crores. Working women's hostel in Shillong, which is going to again help a lot of women who come to work in the city to have a hostel for them. 75 digital libraries, which is also got inaugurated today, already constructed out of 750 digital libraries which have been sanctioned. And you have the residential office come residential. This is not SASCI, but this is something again where central government's institutions, like the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. Now I'm also talking about having the foundation laid for CBIC, Central Board for Indirect Taxation and Customs, which also takes care of GST, having its office come residential complex, a major large establishment coming in New Shillong. That's a project completely funded by the central government at 256.23 crores. Corporate Affairs, first of its one and only, let's say, IACA outside of Delhi being established in Shillong. That's about 100 crores. Then distribution you saw of beneficiaries of NPS Vatsalya, Swanidhi, Mudra, and so on. And SIDBI gave term loan of 21 lakhs and grant support of CSR initiatives for 16.9 lakhs today. Here, before you, if that is one day's work for the Northeast by Prime Minister Modi's government, you see the attention being given to the Northeast for not just the short term, but for a long term. And this is the commitment with which we from the Union government are working. We believe in taking people together, whether it is the farmers, small farmer, FPOs that are displaying the products, whether it's exporting these products outside of Meghalaya, taking them all over the world, and making sure that value addition to these products also happen here. So, without taking more of your time, I just want to say that it was an NDA government which started a separate department for Northeast Affairs. And that was under Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji when he was the Prime Minister. Separate department for the Northeast was established in 2001. We seriously mean that Northeast should get the attention, the investment and the commitment from Government of India, and that was formed then. So then we look at Northeast as not just the Northeast as a region, but it stands for, I think, empower, act, strengthen, and transform. And that is why there's so much of attention given to the Northeast. As Ashtalakshmi, I think there's a lot of importance. 91 projects worth 1,239 crores have been completed, and 35 projects worth over 1,000 crores are ongoing just in Meghalaya. This is under the Northeast Special Infrastructure Development Scheme, which is since 2017-18 launched. PM Divine, which is a 100% centrally funded scheme announced in the Union Budget of 22-23. I still remember the day when we announced it. There was such a euphoria that lots of attention is going for the Northeast, and rightly so. 3 projects worth 496 crores are ongoing in Meghalaya on the PM Divine. Of course, there are Uttar Purva Transformation Industrialization Scheme, which is also announced by the 2024 budget. Particular data which I'd like to mention is 540 kilometers of national highway have been constructed since 2014 in Meghalaya. Optical fiber cable coverage in Meghalaya has increased 5-fold since 2014. So if I have to read out the data on those particular smaller businesses and households, I would seek your indulgence if I can just list out for Meghalaya what has been extended through Jan Dhan Yojana. 8.64 lakh bank accounts have been opened in Meghalaya. Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, 5.5 lakh have enrolled for life insurance cover, and that is the subsidized life insurance cover given by the PM Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana. PM Suraksha Bima Yojana covers nearly 1 lakh who have got accident insurance cover. PM Awas Yojana has provided 1.5 lakh houses for those who so require it. Jal Jeevan Mission, which takes Ghar Ghar Pani, Nal Se Pani, Nal Se Jal, 5.3 lakh households which are in the rural areas have been provided tap water connections, and rural tap water coverage has increased to 82.85% as of July 2025. Just only 4,550 rural houses had tap water connections in 2019. Swachh Bharat Mission, which is for rural areas, gave 3 lakh plus people rural household which received toilets built for them, where subsidized cooking gas reaches homes. 3 lakh or over 3 lakh households have been provided LPG connections. Jan Aushadhi Kendras, which give affordable medicines. There are data about each one of the medical or the medicine which is sold out of Jan Aushadhi Kendras, where people getting medicines for life for chronic illnesses used to spend somewhere like 2,000 rupees per month. I'm taking just a random example. 2,000 rupees per month are now spending only 600 rupees a month. That is the proportion of decrease because of the generic medicines which are available in these Jan Aushadhi Kendras. Ayushman Bharat has given medical coverage for more than 20 lakh citizens in Meghalaya. Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, which gives free rice for the poor, has supported more than 21 lakh beneficiaries. PM Kisan supports 1.8 lakh farmers in Meghalaya. So I wouldn't go further to speak about roads, bridges and others, which is used for building capital assets, which is a 50-year interest-free loan. The total which has been given to Meghalaya since 2021 till today is 5,400 crores. I would think for Meghalaya, There's more to do, but I'm happy that is the amount which the government of Meghalaya has used effectively for building capital assets, which I gave you a list of. There is of course a lot more to be shared, but I like to share something which the Chief Secretary here mentioned to you, which I had mentioned earlier in the meeting which I attended, which is something which we have learned a lot from the Northeast. The Northeast has given us, in its own wisdom, a lot which is important for us to follow. Let me just get that page. Core values which I have taken or I imbibed, which are essentially, if I'm right, Khasi. So, Khasi, Jaintia and Garo. Khasi people, in their local wisdom, have given something which is absolutely essential for today's development. Particularly when globally we are talking about sustainable development. In the G20 we spoke about one earth, one family. We also speak about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Entire world is one family. We also say sustainable growth and climate action. Unless these values, which Khasi people have given us, are imbibed in every one of our policy making, so that we respect people, we respect communities, we respect the environment, we leave the environment as pristine as we've inherited for the future generation, and above all, be ethically conscious